Alrighty. Sup? Let's change the name of the stream. This stream will be the economy. That was, oh, okay, I know why. So, to be honest, it feels really weird coming back to Black Desert after a day playing World of Warcraft. And it also looks like someone's already at this spot, so I might need to switch. Anyways, guys, this stream is going to be about the economy in Black Desert, specifically about demand. No, the video tonight is going to be, trying to think, week in review. Don't really need to do any other videos right now. It's somewhere around here. Where is it? You know, the video for tonight is week in review, mostly focused on how the community dislikes what's currently going on with Dragon and Sea Monster hunting, as well as looking at the health of the game in general. But this stream is going to be focused on economy, demand, and why pen items should be more common. So I'll wait a bit before I start talking about pen items and demand, just because I know there's a few people that want to come watch the stream that might not be aware it's up yet. But yeah. Turn down my gain a bit just so you don't have to listen too much to my keyboard. It is the problem with grinding after all. Lots of keyboard input. Yeah, so Black Desert currently, population's a bit low, as a lot of players are playing the 2 new games that have come out in the last 2.5 weeks. Monster Hunter World and Battle for Azeroth, of course. I myself have been playing Battle for Azeroth. Monster Hunter World looks amazing as well. I'll probably play it afterwards, but for now, I'm all in on WoW and still trying to at the very least get most of the stuff that I need to do in Black Desert done. Yeah, everyone's just playing Battle for Azeroth or Monster Hunter World. Despite the fact that the remaster is coming with, I believe, tonight's patch for Black Desert, no one's really playing because a remaster isn't that exciting. It's something you log in to see, but you don't really need to play it to experience it. You can just kind of either watch others show it off. Like I'll probably make a new video on the remastered version once it's live server, and I can actually play around with the settings in English instead of Korean. As the other video I did, I just had to kind of guess at where all the settings were based on what I know of Black Desert's menus, which they're different on the Global Lab actually. They don't look exactly like they do here. Yeah. Battle for Azeroth, it's a lot of fun. Monster Hunter World, I've got a lot of friends that are playing that and saying it's fun too. So it's good that Black Desert's getting some competition, that players are not leaving but taking a small break. As I always find that when I take small breaks from Black Desert, I come back with sort of a renewed, not necessarily love for the game, but a renewed appreciation of what the game has to offer. Like Black Desert, it's certainly unique among MMOs right now, and it has its own unique things to offer compared to other games and MMOs. It offers amazing combat with Blade and Soul style combat. Not necessarily Blade and Soul style. Blade and Soul style is actually somewhat tab targeting, which is funny, but super fun style combat with very action-like fighting game mechanics. It also has amazing graphics. Like playing WoW is fun, but oh my god, you play WoW, then you come back and you play Black Desert, and it's like, wow, the difference is night and day. And obviously WoW doesn't go for a realistic style of graphics, it is cartoony. But the difference is just, it's huge. So yeah, I find that taking breaks from Black Desert really helps me sort of come back with a renewed appreciation for what the game is. Of course, it also helps me... Well, it still says it's streaming. Alright, there we go. Everything seems okay. That's, hopefully it didn't affect the stream or anything, apart from the loud notification sound. But yes, Black Desert, fun game. I do wish Black Desert was a game I didn't have to play all the time, though. Like, as much as I tout how great taking a break can be, you do fall behind when you're taking a break, as you're not leveling up, you're not skilling, you're not increasing your gear. But at the same time, of course, you could play for an entire month, get some really good accessories, and then blow them all up and be back at square one the same way. So, I mean, you know, it's give and take. Go Helms. Why would I go Helms? I'm not a huge fan of Helms. I don't like the range monsters there. They don't do any damage. It's just annoying to have to group them up. Am I on Twitch as well? No, I'm currently only on YouTube. I do stream on Twitch sometimes. But usually when I'm streaming on Twitch, I stream other games. So Black Desert, I mainly stick to YouTube because the YouTube subscriber base knows me for Black Desert. But on Twitch, I play Magic the Gathering Arena, I play Overwatch, I play World of Warcraft. I don't necessarily always play Black Desert on Twitch. It's usually other games. And I haven't been very good about streaming for the last 2 weeks. I've been super busy. So I'm going to try and stream a lot more this week, probably on Twitch as well. But Black Desert will mostly be on YouTube. Why do I go on Wandering Rogues? Okay, so Wandering Rogues, basically there's a few reasons. One, the rotation is super simplistic. It's pretty much a circle with a weird tumor on it right here. So it's pretty much, where am I? Right here. It's pretty much like this, with a tumor going out to here. It's very small rotation. It's easy to do. It's never contested. No one ever goes to Wandering Rogues. Like, everyone asks the same question, why go to Wandering Rogues? No one goes to Wandering Rogues because of that question. And the money is actually really good at Wandering Rogues. Wandering Rogues' money is somewhere around 30 million silver an hour, which isn't amazing when you compare it to stuff like sea monster hunting or Histria grinding, but is very good when you compare it to other sort of well-traveled grind spots. And also, it's a very convenient place to be. Wandering Rogues, it's right next to Tarif. It's only a bit east of Heidel. It's a very convenient grind spot, I find. How do you feed your pets one by one using the hotkey? If you just drag, so wherever it is, there it is. If you just drag it down to the bar, you can just put it on the bar, and then pressing it will use it. So there I overfed the pet because they're nowhere near needing more food. But yeah, another quick tip with pets is you can change them all just by right-clicking instead of left-clicking. So I've got them all on Agile right now. And that will change all of them at once without having to click through all 5 of them. Experience of Rogues, level 59. If I actually had my experience stuff on, it would be a lot higher. I usually gain about 6 to 8% an hour, I think. And of course, that's going to go up tomorrow with the patch. But they're also fairly good for skill points. They're not Soldier's Grave, obviously, but they're fairly decent. So after this rotation, I'll go to town, I'll drop off some stuff, I'll sell some stuff, and then I will activate experience buffs. Yeah, I'm still uploading videos. It's so for anyone that watched the update from the Lighthouse last night, I'm a little burnt out on uploading videos. I feel I've been uploading too many videos or pushing myself too hard to try to improve the quality of the videos. So I'm going to be cutting back just a little bit. Still going to be uploading the Tuesday week in review video, the Wednesday patch notes video, and a Saturday video. But I'm not going to be as strict with myself about making sure I have at least a Thursday, Friday, or Sunday video. Normally I do at least one of those, if not two of the three. And I'm also going to be experimenting more with games outside of BDO. But yeah, still 3 to 4, maybe even 5 BDO videos a week. No need to worry, I'm not going to disappear. I'm just trying to cut back a little bit because I do work a full-time job. Oh, not full-time, but part-time with close to full-time hours. And I do have other obligations in life, unfortunately, apart from YouTube, as I am just not successful enough on YouTube yet to quit my job or anything. What did the drop that give 30 million an hour? So that is one of the interesting things. Wandering Rogues drops a few things that is worth good money. So let's go to my horse, actually. So jump on my horse, and we will head back over here. Unfortunately, you can't autopath this. So first off, the Wandering Rogue drops is responsible for about 7 to 8 million silver per hour, and that would be their turn-ins, the useful coin pouch. Useful coin pouch, it's only 600 for a turn-in instead of 1,000, and you can get about 4,200 an hour fairly simply. Like, I only have T1 pets. I've got a T2 dog and a T2 penguin, and then 3 T1s, and the T2 dog is basically the equivalent of a T1. So I only get about 4,200 hours. People with good pets could probably get about 5,000 though. So it's certainly possible to go above 8 million. You could probably go to even 9 or 10 million if you were good. Then Wandering Rogues drops a lot of equipment. Like, I've only been grinding Wandering Rogues for about 25, 30 minutes, I think. And you can see all this equipment drops. None of it's upgraded, but usually there's a very good chance for equipment to upgrade. Which means you can extract Blackstones from it. They're very good for Blackstone drops. They have trade goods. They drop the Schultz set. So there's a lot of good stuff that Wandering Rogues drops. So, good comment there. Not really sure how to pronounce your name, Sihem El-Nike? Not really sure how to pronounce it. Sorry about that. Basically, I actually do try to improve the quality of my videos. I am well known for putting out a lot of videos where I tend to ramble and go off script. However, I have been upgrading the quality of my videos. And one thing that is a problem is improving the quality of my videos doesn't necessarily mean that it'll get more views. Or even more likes, actually, for that matter. So most recently, the most recent high quality video I did would have probably been about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, when I did the video on, oh, where is it? When I did the class guide, part 1 and 2. So part 1 and 2, they actually have a lot of work that went into them. Each of them took about 2 full days of editing, audio recording, audio scrubbing, like all the stuff that goes into a good video went into those videos. And I feel they're actually really good videos. I'm actually pretty proud of them. However, neither of them are doing all that well. They don't get very many views a day compared to other YouTubers' class guides. They don't receive that much recognition. And it really kind of sucks when I make a high quality video like that and it does worse than lower quality videos for topics that aren't even necessarily as popular as a class guide. So high quality, yes, it's better to have high quality than low quality. However, getting high quality is difficult, and when people are just as satisfied with the high quality versus low quality, or at least just as satisfied to watch it, they'll watch it either way, Making high quality stuff is just more stress on top of having to come up with the video, make a script, and make the video itself. This game sucks balls and RNG is just a turnoff. Well, I wouldn't say the game sucks balls. I would say there's a lot of flaws the game could do to improve upon, but I wouldn't say the game is necessarily that awful. It definitely, like I was talking about earlier, when there were only a few people in the stream, taking breaks from Black Desert really lets you come back with appreciation for what Black Desert does right and what it does wrong. Basically, it lets you appreciate what Black Desert is as a game. It's a beautiful game. The graphics are incredible. We're getting the remaster tonight. The audio is acceptable. The combat is fluid, feels great. It offers open world PvP combat. It offers endgame PvP scene, and that's all stuff it does well. On the flip side, the game has a terrible reliance on RNG, a bloated cash shop, certain mechanics that just don't make sense. Crafting is implemented in ways that certain people love and certain people hate. Like, I love having an empire. I don't love the fact that the empire is supposed to craft stuff for me. Like, if I go to my... Isn't that my tool workshop right there? Oh, no, it's right here, I think. Yep. I don't like the fact that I have to use my workers to craft stuff. I prefer to craft stuff on my own. And, I mean, processing is... It's just not very involved. I think your timing is just bad, BFA release. I'm actually playing BFA. Like, I'm not playing in this video stream, obviously. But I actually just got off BFA about 2 hours ago. I was running Mythics with my guild, having a lot of fun in BFA. I play a Demon Hunter because once you play Black Desert or Blade and Soul and get used to being super mobile, going back to non-mobile classes in WoW is just, it's too much. So I play Demon Hunter, have since Legion. But yeah, no, I play WoW, trust me. I'm going to be making some videos on that, but I want to have a niche for WoW. Like, I don't want to just make general videos like I do for Black Desert, which is probably going to be money making and, like, enchanting, alchemy, and herbalism. Alright, so now we're here. I can sell a bunch of the stuff. 3 extra slots in there. Don't have that much room to put stuff in my storage, unfortunately. Have you tried doing an elite run out of those and mains? So elite runs are actually pretty profitable no matter where you do them. Helm's elite runs are one of the best in Medea. You are correct on that. Helm's elite runs give really good money. But if I was grinding just for money, I would probably just go join a sea monster guild or something. I wouldn't necessarily do elites, just because there's much better ways to earn money at this current state in the Black Desert's in, without having to find servers where elites are in good amounts and stuff like that. Thank you so much for having the voice you have. Well, you're welcome. You can thank I believe it's my father that has a similar voice to me. Anyways, so the topic of this stream, one I was going to talk to everyone about, is actually pen items in Black Desert. Now, specifically when I'm talking about pen items, I'm generally going to be talking about accessories in this video, or stream, I suppose. Sorry, bad habit. However, can I collect all of this? Yes, I can. Yeah, that's never going to sell. However, in the current topic, pen normal gear, so weapons and armor, is also sort of relevant, I suppose is the best word. So essentially, the economy, as I talked about in the Let's Play for those that watched it, Black Desert uses what is known as an event-based economy to supply the economy with items such as accessories, enhancement materials, and other important gear that items that players need and have difficulty farming. Now, this is most evident when you look at items such as ogre rings, because ogre rings, they only really come into the economy through events, really. No one farms ogres. At least I don't know anyone that grinds ogres. Anyways. and ogre rings, as a result, can only really enter the economy through events, fine accessory boxes, or other random stuff like that. It's not generally because people went and killed ogres until they killed enough ogres that they could make a soiled ring into an actual ogre ring or collect 100 of the shattered versions. So supply based on events is a valid thing when the developers of the game input enough events to keep supply at a high enough level to service the community. However, in Black Desert, the level is not high enough, and there's two reasons this could be. Now, the first reason is that the supply simply isn't high enough and never will be. They don't want supply to be high enough because if supply is high enough, then players don't feel the need to log in every day, players start drifting away from the game, and I find that most people that quit Black Desert often quit when they're forced to not play the game for a week or two, either due to work or a trip or something similar, and then find it easier to just not log back in. Their value pack might have expired, they haven't been processing for 2 weeks, they've been kicked from the guild. For whatever reason, that is when most players seem to quit Black Desert, when they're not logging in every day for attendance rewards or other events. Now, the second reason could be that Black Desert has something that other MMOs don't. And what that is players in Black Desert never leave the economy for gear, enhancement materials, and accessories. So what I mean by this is in other games, World of Warcraft is one of the most obvious examples and just released an expansion. Players will eventually leave the market, at least as buyers. They'll leave the market for high-tier endgame materials, enhancement materials, and items. So in Black Desert, those items are sharps, hards, blackstones, memory fragments, accessories in general, because you need to smash together accessories to create stuff such as my Pride Tree Spirit here. I would need 2 trees belts, and I'd need even more for this Trimark of Shadow. So players in other games, they get the highest tier, and then they no longer need to participate in that section of the economy. If they receive other items, like if Trimark of Shadow was the best ring in the game, nothing else compared to it, and it could not be upgraded any further, if I found myself with a second Trimark of Shadow, and I only needed the one, I could then sell it and give some other player their own Trimark of Shadow, and then they would no longer need to attempt to create their own Trimark of Shadow and could leave the economy, at least as a buyer, which means anything they find from there on, if they find their own Trimarks of Shadows, or even Duo or Pry, they can then sell that to other players who can then attempt to get their own Tri. That is not the case in Black Desert. Because pen is such a difficult proposition for most players, most people I know do not have a single pen. If they do, it's generally an armor piece or a weapon. Most often a weapon, because people that go for pens go for Dandelion or Zarka as their first pen. Most people do not go for helmet, armor, shoes, or gloves as their first pen. And I don't know anyone that has a pen accessory and does not have pen armor. One second, let me look at the comments here. So heavy RNG, lack of traditional PvE such as dungeons, no cap for leveling. Yep, those are definitely valid criticisms of Black Desert. But the fact that pen is so difficult means that players are never leaving the market for these items. A player that is super endgame has been playing since Black Desert released 2.5 years ago in North America and Europe, that has participated in every way to earn mass amounts of money possible. They're part of Man Up back when they held the castle for 32 weeks. They participated in sea monster hunting. They have billions of silver. Still needs to participate in the economy for every item. They still need sharps and hards, because even if they have pen gear, they still 4 or 5 out of 6, or 7, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So even if they had 6 out of 7 pieces of pen, weapons, and armor, they would still need the exact same sharps and hards that everyone else uses to achieve that 7 out of 7. They still need all the accessories so that they can keep smashing those together to get tets or pens, and thus players never leave the economy for these items. They never stop buying them up and just start being people that contribute to selling to other players. This is one of the things that I personally think is a big problem in Black Desert. WoW is not pay to win. I wouldn't say WoW's pay to win either, honestly. Yes, you can purchase tokens and sell those to other players to directly earn gold and purchase BOEs. However, you still need to run raids for most of the best gear in the game. Other players can easily achieve that stuff, like item level 350, which is what you'd have if you had all the best stuff in WoW, is pretty simple to achieve right now. You just run a bunch of mythics and you'll be at around 340, 345. I'm already about to hit 330, and I've only done 3 mythics because I didn't do last week's stuff. I wouldn't really consider WoW pay to win. It definitely could be considered pay to win, I just wouldn't myself. But yeah, so the fact that pen items are not achievable directly contributes to the lack of items available in the marketplace, specifically enhancement materials such as sharps and hards or memory fragments, and accessories, because players never get to stop buying those. They're always buying more. If you are super rich, it just means you get to purchase more of those and have more attempts than another player. Gear is normalized in PvP. BIS, BOEs at the moment on the age. At the moment, yes, you can buy best in slot BOEs, but the amount of money you'd have to spend is ridiculous, and not everyone can do that just because there's not enough of those BOE drops. If enough of players purchase them for the ridiculous prices that they were at on launch day, they were like 4 million for the sword, they'd all be gone within a couple players. So I mean, I can definitely see where people could say WoW is pay to win. You could just spend tokens to get, it's not sort of best in slot gear, but at least serviceable endgame gear that allows you to defeat most other players while they're still gearing up. But eventually they'll catch up, and most BOEs that drop will sell for absurd prices and be just as good, if not worse, because BOEs generally aren't best in slot, as stuff from the raid or mythic dungeons. There's tons on the age right now because players can get stuff at 350 fairly easily. Like 350, not necessarily super easily, but 340, 345 is very achievable. Like I had a guy that got a 355 ring drop in the dungeon today. I got 4 or 5 pieces of gear in 3 dungeons because our druid kept getting repeat pieces that went to me. So I mean, I wouldn't really say that WoW is... And buying boost runs, that's something that can happen in most games. Like Black Desert's lack of player trading, yes, it prevents stuff like that, but you can still buy, like currently one of the biggest things is if you spend $100 on PayPal on Black Desert right now, roughly about 100 US for most of them, you can get access to a Sea Monster Guild, and they will allow you to just sort of leech and then give you a full payout at the end of the week. So you're spending about $100 to get a billion or even more than a billion silver per week, which is pretty good deal if you consider how much money you have to spend normally in Black Desert for a billion silver worth of value. Like if you look at Artisan memories, for example, you get... Let me think. I don't really buy these, so I'm not actually too sure. Are they in Travel Aid? No, they're not. Artisan memories, 100, 4,000 pearls. So you could get about 250, which is times 3. One second, I'm trying to do the math in my head here. 250, 750. So we'll say about like 600 million silver worth of stuff. So yeah, it's definitely a better deal, and you don't need to grind the memory fragments yourself if you're going to use PayPal to get accepted into a Sea Monster Guild. I mean, all games sort of pay to win these days. It's just really the nature of the online economy and market. The game, unless you completely disable player trading as well as player interaction, at which point you're just a single player game. Like people already criticize Black Desert for being basically a glorified single player game. Then you really can't prevent players from gaming the system in some way or another. Before Sea Monster Guilds, you could pay to get into a payout guild. Even before that, what's always existed is just paying people to log into your account to level up. So I mean, technically any game can be pay to win. Some games just offer legitimate routes to do it that make it easier and are more trustworthy, so more players perform them. What's up, Robert? Glad to have you on the live stream. So what do I think about BFA so far? I'm having a lot of fun in BFA. I feel that World of Warcraft with BFA has done a lot of things right. They've gone back to sort of the two faction split. They've got Kulturas and Zandalar, which kind of mimic Kalimdor and Eastern Kingdoms from back in Vanilla through to about Wrath, with the Horde on Kalimdor for the most part, and Alliance on Eastern Kingdoms. The dungeons are a lot of fun. Most of the questing is straightforward. It's really fun to play through. All the classes are pretty fun. There are, of course, problems. There's problems with, like, the scaling. One second, let me pour myself a glass of sortilege. My throat is a bit parched right now. Yep, you can go to both zones. I actually spend like a majority of my time on Kulturas, even though I'm a horde, having fun fighting enemy players. There we go. Pour myself a good glass of whiskey. Killing enemy players, doing world quests, and such. What's fun in farming at mains? Well, I don't really know because I don't farm at mains. Rogues is just a good place to farm in general. It's, for a low-level zone, really good money per hour. You're unbothered, super convenient, don't have to go to the desert. It's a great place. I plan to do a video on rogues soon. The only problem with doing a video on rogues is someone did a video on rogues like 2 days ago, which means that if I make a video now, even though I've been planning to do it for months now, I'm going to be seen as a copycat. And I've been accused of that in the past, so I try to avoid making videos when someone else has just released a video on it. But, oh yeah, I've had my Zarka in this class for a while. It finally went try after a long time. But one of the results of it going try is this nice 55 stack, which I stopped after it hit 55. And yeah, this Zarka was not happy to go to try. I'm currently saving materials, actually, to go for Tet for my Dandelion. But yeah, I'm currently just saving materials for that. Not super fussed about going Tet right away. See, Ninja, like, I do agree, make what you want, don't care what others think of you. But at the same time, like, I don't want to burn too many bridges. I know there's a few content creators that don't necessarily like me. And there's a few I'm friendly with, and by a few I really just mean 2. Dungeoneers and I are fairly friendly, and Shaky doesn't hate me, which is, not bad. So, I mean, I don't really want to make enemies just because. And it's not like I really need to steal someone else's thunder. Like, I don't like it when I release a video and someone else releases a video and theirs does better than mine. So I can just wait a week or maybe even 2 weeks before doing it myself. I have a few other videos I can make other than just sort of a wandering rogues grinding guide. Only me and Karandus. Wow, that's actually some high praise. Karandus is, that's an old name in the BDO YouTubing community. He's been around for a long time. Speaking of old names, I only found out it was like 2 or 3 months ago, I think, that the only BDO YouTuber I'd ever watched was the one that taught me how to play Dark Knight, Rinku Talks, and that we were actually allied with him. Our guild, Yuki, was in an alliance with Koi for a while, and so I got to meet Rinku a few times in-game, which was a fun time. I even got a kill on him once, which was amusing for me. Although, unfortunately, when I got a kill on him, I was playing Lawn, not Dark Knight, so didn't really change too much. So, I mean, currently there's not much to do in BFA if you're already geared up in this second week, because the raid's not out yet. Players are still just gearing up. There's no Mythic Plus that you can push. The arena season hasn't started yet. So all the real endgame stuff hasn't begun yet. But BFA will be getting more stuff to do soon. So for now, I'm just gearing up, getting myself some decent money to start the game, and having fun dicking around with friends on the other island. BFA is Battle for Azeroth, so World of Warcraft's most recent expansion. Came out last week, and it's one of the reasons a lot of people in the Black Desert subreddit are talking about the sort of lowered numbers for Black Desert players that you can see on Steam. And there's 2 main reasons for that. One is Monster Hunter World, which came out, I want to say 3 weeks ago. And the other is BFA, which came out a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks exactly, I suppose, something like that. Or 1 week? Did it only come out last week, actually? It only came out last week, actually. What am I saying, 2 weeks? It only came out 8 days ago. What class do I play in WoW? I play a Demon Hunter because once you play Black Desert, you can't really go to other MMOs, especially tab-targeted ones like WoW, and play slower, clunkier classes. Like I have a Hunter that I play fairly often, and a Warlock, but for most of my normal game time, I just play Demon Hunter because it's super mobile and feels the closest to an action combat class. Yeah, Rogues, the video on Rogues would probably mostly focus on its silver per hour and convenience. Like, Rogues isn't necessarily the best grinding spot, I'll be the first to admit that, but it's one of the most convenient grinding spots. It's got great money per hour. I don't know why I haven't activated my my buff here. That was kind of silly of me. I've got a few buffs I could probably activate. And it's a fun grinding spot in general. Yeah, so what do you guys think about my theory on pens? That if pen was more accessible, made easier, players could sort of not have to buy items and start selling any enhancement materials they get on the market as well as accessories, and thus other players could gear up better, and the supply problem would be fixed much more simply. Now, of course, the flip side of that issue is something that a lot of players enjoy about Black Desert is the difficulty in gearing up. I have a lot of people that tell me that anything that they could do to make enhancement easier would devalue all their efforts and is a big middle finger to the reason they play the game, which is the permanent progression. Making pen simple, I wouldn't want it simple, but achievable, sort of flies in the face of that and makes it so progression is no longer permanent. There is a end zone that would be reachable now that players could actually hit, and thus it would not be, in essence, an infinite progression system. So a ferry boat, yeah, there's not really much you can do to alleviate that grind. I'm trying to think how far I am. I have 10,500 logs myself. Personally, I want a frigate, but I hate farming coral so much that I don't think that's ever going to happen. But yeah, all I do for the ferry boat is every sort of second day. I don't do it every day, but every second day, once my energy's maxed out from processing overnight, before I do anything else, I'll just go and farm the logs, and then that way they slowly build up, especially once you get more and more energy, and eventually you'll have several thousand, and you'll be a lot closer, and you can probably just go in a single burst. Like, I could probably have enough logs after another week or so if I just did it every day. I agree with a little more achievable than it is now, but I wouldn't want it to be too easy. So that's the thing, like, they need to strike a balance between making it achievable, because technically, it is achievable now. People do have pen items. In fact, there's people with multiple pen items. However, I think everyone can agree that it's such a difficult slog, so almost impossible. Like, everyone probably remembers duels, his sort of streamables filling the subreddit for a solid 2 months until he finally got his pen. I think he has 2 now, actually. So currently, it's too difficult. But if they made it too easy, that would both devalue the efforts of players that had already achieved pens, as well as sort of driving away players that liked the fact that it was difficult to get. So it should be something achievable that hardcore players, like, personally I think the players in guilds such as Man Up, that had such a huge advantage in resources for so long, should all be able to be at full pen. Like, we're talking top 0.01%, like one player out of every 10,000, something like that, that could achieve full pen. Most players would only have 1 or 2, maybe a couple pens. But I feel that having at least 1 or 2 pens should be something you can do if you're at the very least an endgame player, a siege guild, without too much difficulty, at least without as much difficulty as we have now. And of course, Caphras Stones, the system that we're supposed to get a long time ago, should make that a reality, but we don't have them, and they might even nerf them for NA, so who knows. Yeah, so addressing Robert's question, that is half the problem. We do call it progression, but you can dump so much resource into something and actually lose progress. You could start with a Tri-Ogre, dump tons of resources in, and end up with not a duo ogre because you failed so many times and you tried to use your tri-ogre with a backup and you failed again. So like, we try to say it's all progression, but it's all RNG. It's just sort of a slot machine that the more money we have, the more chances we get. But there's no guarantee for progression, there's no guarantee that we'll win. Technically, with enough attempts, we can say that we are the house always wins. But for most players, they don't have enough silver to have enough attempts to become the house, and they are forced to just not be the ones that always win. I think it's good not for the economy, but more people would play the game in general. Yeah, I really do think that Black Desert as a game would be something more people would play if endgame PvP was accessible. Because I have a lot of friends that love endgame PvP. They do rated battlegrounds in WoW, they do World v World and Guild Wars 2, staking and stuff in RuneScape, old school RuneScape. And they love the idea of being able to do endgame PvP. They hate the idea of having to play this as a second job in order to achieve that. Someone's registering a lot of black magic crystals. Jesus. Raising soft cap will mean the gear will not move sideways but become a gear treadmill the way I see it. Not necessarily, because originally, actually, so I'll address gear treadmill first. Gear treadmill refers to systems like WoW, right, where they're always releasing new sets of gear that are better than the previous one, so players are forced to farm the new set of gear in order to be able to do the content that that gear is made for. Generally, the gear is released and in that content, so you start to slowly progress through the content, earning the gear that you need for the next part as you go. Black Desert, I can't really see doing a true gear treadmill. I don't really see them constantly releasing better gear. We currently have sideways progression, but a sort of, not really a gear treadmill because they're not releasing new stuff. We're just always attempting to get higher and higher gear. But I don't really think that they go for a gear treadmill. I feel that even if they make pen accessible, it wouldn't be a gear treadmill. It would just be more of an old school RuneScape type thing, where you've got one set of gear that's the best, and every so often they release a new piece of gear which is technically better. In some cases straight up better, such as Uragons compared to Muskins at the moment. In some cases down to playstyle. But I don't think making pen more accessible would turn the game into a gear treadmill style game. I feel it would just make the game more accessible, hopefully. Yeah, this is the lawn. So in the loading screen, you can see her with this weapon, which is the chain crescent pendulum, as well as the noble sword. And then when she awakens, she gets access to a pair of glaives. They call them glaives, I believe. Are they glaives? Yeah, they call them glaives, but I don't really think these are glaives. They are technically war glaives if you consider war glaives to be like World of Warcraft, like Illidan style. But a glaive is actually a polearm. These are more swords. Interesting pair of swords for sure with the chain type thing, but they're not really glaives in my opinion. Does Steam have CBDO? I'm not sure if Steam has BDO on the C region in Southeast Asia. I know I've got quite a lot of Southeast Asian viewers. Well, I say quite a lot. About 5% of the viewers are Southeast Asian, as of the last time I checked. Or at least from Southeast Asian countries, like Malaysia and stuff. But I'm not sure if they have it on Steam, or if you just got to buy it through the website itself. It's probably on Steam, if Steam's available in the region. I'm not sure. I feel we'll get Caphras eventually, but I'm not sure when. So the current theory is that stuff like Caphras and Dragon is being held until players are starting to get tired of Battle for Azeroth and Monster Hunter World, the two big games released recently, and can be drawn back in with the promise of the Caphras Enhancement system and a new region. But I mean, Caphras feels like something that they should have released a long time ago, because new regions we've historically always had to wait a long time for. Kama Sylvia we waited 9 months for. We waited a decent amount of time for Margoria and stuff as well. Valencia, Part 1 and 2. But the Caphras Enhancement system is more something like the AFK leveling system, which we're getting tomorrow. Or actually, I think we got it last week. Sorry, we got it Wednesday. We're getting tomorrow remastered. So it feels like something that should have been released a long time ago, or at least recently, because it's something they can just release piecemeal. It doesn't need to be released with Dragon. But they haven't done anything for it yet, which is weird. BDO on Xbox. Ooh, that's some good whiskey. BDO on Xbox is confirmed not to have crossplay. They will have their own servers where they will not have to play with PC players. So I envision quite a lot of players going there for sort of a fresh start, especially if they have better sort of enhancement systems than we do on PC. I can see quite a lot of people with Xboxes going there for a fresh start. But no, there will not be crossplay according to the devs. But I mean, things can change, right? Like, what was it? That game about a hat that is apparently being released on Nintendo Switch now. It's a platformer, and they said that it was never going to come to the Switch, and all of a sudden it's coming to the Switch in September. So things can always change, but I would not expect to see Black Desert for Xbox being crossplay with PC, especially when you can already plug in a gamepad and play with an Xbox controller on Black Desert. It's supported in the client, like you don't even have to install anything. So there will not be crossplay, and I would not expect them to add it at a later date. A Hat in Time, that's it. I'm actually going to pick that up once it comes out because it looks really fun. I don't think I'll get it for PC, but I think I will get it for Switch when it comes out because that looks really fun. Platform games are always a lot of fun. I wouldn't call it a guilty pleasure. It's just something I've always enjoyed. Yeah, so honestly, talking about the hacks, that's actually one of the things that's going to be in the week in review tonight. The biggest things that have been talked about this week are the lack of hackers that have been banned recently, sea monster hunting, and people sort of wondering if the game's dying because of the drop in player base from Battle for Azeroth and Monster Hunter World. So those are the big things in Week in Review. It's all community stuff. There's not much apart from Black Desert Remastered coming and the level cap going up, which are the game-related stuff in the Week in Review. Do I feel that BDO combat is boring? I feel BDO combat is amazing. I feel grinding is boring. So BDO combat, the only reason grinding is even tolerable in BDO as an action combat game is because the combat is so fun. Action combat does not lend itself really to repetitive grinding because it's more difficult on the hands and on the body than a game such as MapleStory or EverQuest are. Games where, yes, you had to grind a lot. Or FlyFF, because you could just sort of press one or two buttons and just use tab targeting and action bar combat. So I feel the only reason Black Desert grinding is even tolerable is because of how amazing the combat system is. Like, every move feels like it has power, visceral, like, it feels great to use it, and that's the only reason that grinding is tolerable for most people. No crossplay for Final Fantasy XIV to work with PS4's crossplay requires slowing down the global cooldowns to make things equal. And that's something a lot of people are still complaining about today in Final Fantasy with how slow the global cooldowns and all that is. So yeah, I would not expect crossplay for BDO. It's the game just requires too much input with the keyboard for it to really be fair to pit players on the PC against players on the Xbox. Not to mention how difficult it would be if you had to have a new account for Xbox to compete with people that have been playing for 2.5 years at this point. MapleStory 2 is actually, it's looking pretty fun. It's pay to win as all hell, which is, to be expected of a Nexon game. But apparently it's getting good reviews. People are enjoying it. It's a good mix of nostalgia with, what's the word I'm looking for? Nostalgia and sort of innovation to the 2D platforming style of MMO. Which MapleStory, I don't think it pioneered, but it was certainly the most well-known and successful of any of the 2D MMOs, really. Thanks, Cactus. Glad to hear you like the videos. Yeah, honestly, I would prefer more difficult monsters in Black Desert. Supposedly Dragon is bringing monsters that are more difficult, that have actual AI, and that means they're also working on even better AI for new monsters in the upcoming regions. But at the same time, action combat, like in Black Desert, is difficult to properly tune monsters for, because if monsters are too good, then they'll absolutely crush you. And if monsters aren't good enough, then you just get what I'm doing now, where you go Diablo style and murder everything in a single rotation and move on. So it looks like some guilds got a guild quest here, as they're starting to show up. So I suppose I should turn on chat. I'll turn on chat once I get this nice big group of monsters here. That way I can see if they're asking me if I would mind switching or something like that. If they're dicks, I'll PvP them. We'll see if they're strong enough to fight me, or if I'm weak and will get destroyed. So if you want to block, dodge, and have fight mechanics, the game for you is probably Blade and Soul. It is literally a fighting game in... Okay, let me properly enable stuff here. General, World Party, and Guild. She doesn't really seem to know the rotation, as she is destroying this poor rotation. Oh my god. Blade and Soul is definitely... It's a fighting game in an MMO skin. Did I hear Shaky say he dislikes/hates grinding etiquette? I'm not surprised. I didn't hear him say it, but I am not surprised at all. Shaky seems like the type that would hate that type of video. Any sort of unspoken rules. What am I feeling about Lawn and Node War? How do I stay viable? So Lawn and Node War, she is a challenging thing to play just because her kit is really an assassin's kit. The grab, like that, really lends itself to making Lawn extremely powerful in 1v1 combat, but not very good in large scale, as she just doesn't have enough protected stuff for her melee range attacks, which is really the problem. Also my gear, I'm only at about 480, so it's difficult for me to properly impact the battlefield, as there's so many 520, 530 plus running around that can do way more damage than I can. How many pets? I've got all 5 pets right now. I've got like 7 in total, because I've got a turtle I haven't activated. My turtle's on my Dark Knight. But, yeah, they're really messing the rotation here. But yeah, I've got 5 pets. I've got 2 tier 2s, but the dog is pretty much the equivalent of a tier 1. You can see at Agile it's 3.6, which means it's 4-second default, which is the default of a tier 1 pet, unfortunately. I'm sure there's a bunch of former Lineage 2 players. Black Desert is probably one of the sort of games that a lot of players that enjoy Korean MMOs are playing. So Lineage 2, FlyFF, MapleStory, Vindictus, Dragon's Nest, all those games, players that played those games, are a lot of them are probably playing Black Desert right now. Did I ever try Terra? So Terra... My problem with Terra is it felt like every time they created new content, it was the exact same content, just reskinned. And also, they didn't really change PvP balance very much. So I kind of wasn't super interested in playing very much past the first month, really. Plus, when Terra released, it was in direct competition with the Old Republic. And personally, in terms of like lore and stuff, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. So I played the Old Republic a lot on launch. And I didn't play that much of Terra. Video on level 49 Ranger horseback grinding at Sonal on Astra server. I feel it's kind of like an exploit. Like, I really feel that if you're on the Arsha server, you should just be PvPable at any level. I'm not sure if you are or not. I don't really know too much about level 49 Ranger or Sonal grinding. From what I can imagine, Ranger is one of the best horseback grinders in the game. I remember when Absolute Skills came out, Rangers were actually doing like this insane stuff at Valencia mobs, which they actually had to nerf out. And sawmills are actually one of the best spots for low-level grinding for money. So I'd imagine rangers just on horseback going through killing stuff at such a pace that they're making insane money, using the double drop from Arsha server to make it comparable to an actual endgame grinding zone without having to compete with other players because not enough players are doing it. Yeah, I've heard that too about Terra, that it likes to sort of sell players on new classes by packing their kits way too full. Sort of like Certainly T from League of Legends does. I love Certainly T kit design, but I have to admit there's a lot of stuff crammed into those kits. Even if Yasuo is one of my favorite champions ever released. Even if I'm awful at him. Yasuo is who I use whenever I want to downgrade out of like Plat 1 or Diamond 5. I would go Yasuo for a while and drop down to like Plat 3. Hey Syria, yeah, we definitely need to get together and talk sometime. I'd actually really like to get like you and a few other people with good opinions about Black Desert into a sort of Discord sometime and just record it. And then release that as sort of debate session, because that our conversation last time was really helpful to me for making new videos. Glad to see you're still following me, man. Last Jedi review. Last Jedi. Last Jedi. Whew. Okay, so The Last Jedi. Just so don't sound like an absolute dumbass here. Let me Google something quick. Yeah, okay, Last Jedi. I really enjoyed The Last Jedi, with the exception of a few scenes. Mary Poppins felt really out of place. Wasn't a huge fan of the Cantina world. I felt, not Cantina, the Casino world. I felt it was too small feeling. Like, Star Wars always felt a lot bigger, even though they only usually show one city. And thus, I really felt The Last Jedi only showing one city for the Casino world was a mistake. They should have had smaller areas that they could see from ship or something, where people were like in prison camps or something. The Crystal Foxes are some of the cutest things ever. Oh my god. Luke is a badass. I didn't want him to die, but I appreciate where they're going with the story for it. And I'm really hopeful for episode 9, and I hope that Last Jedi kind of shows some cool stuff. Also, come on, dude. Don't kill all my monsters. The Lancer is the only class in PvP still considered top tier. Lancer was what? It was sort of a bruiser. They used like a sort of spear, and they were sort of tanky, I think. It's been a long time for me. Yeah, Last Jedi, my other big problem with Last Jedi is they spend a lot of time setting stuff up in Episode 7. Like, Episode 7, it was more than just A New Hope scene for scene. They did spend a lot of time setting stuff up, and then a lot of that setup was kind of thrown away. Like, Phasma, once again, did absolutely nothing, and she's most likely dead. Like, we didn't see her death, but I mean, it's kind of difficult to survive following down into an exploding Star Destroyer. Hux, is that his name? Hux? General Hux. I really like his character. I do feel he should be a bit more proactive and stuff, but I really like what he does as a character. I just feel he was a bit more competent, or that they'd kept that captain that appears at the beginning for a bit longer instead of killing him off right away. Also, the kind of plot hole where Finn is going full speed and Rose somehow manages to come out of nowhere and knock him out of the sky at the end, that was weird. I've sadly hit that boss gear wall where the only armor left to get is Griffins and Uragons. Yeah, so that is... It's a good wall to hit. It's annoying because Griffins and Uragons, especially Uragons, is pretty expensive to get. I've actually been offered Uragons and I've entered a few times, but I refuse to spend over 200 million for it. Especially because my only piece of Tet boss gear is my Muskins. So I'm trying to focus on getting my Tet weapons at the moment. But yeah, Griffins, you should be able to get Griffins without too much problems. Just put a decent pre-order on it. Unfortunately, prices for pre-orders are insane. And you should get Griffins without too much of an issue. It's Uragons that are definitely going to be the problem. Oh, your first Tech Crescent? I'm sorry, man. Yeah, accessories they're a bitch. I really wish they would change how accessory enhancement works in Black Desert. I feel accessories should not be enhanceable at all. I feel that accessories should be used to sort of accessorize and change your playstyle. Like we've got a bunch of different accessory types, which is good, and then you would just use a different accessory type based on the situation, like using centaurs and stuff for evasion builds, and you wouldn't have to have them all upgraded, you just have them all at base, and base would be the highest they could get. That's how I'd like to see accessories. Yeah, I bought a few of my Tri pieces. I bought my Tri Giaths back when back around when Griffin's released, and Giaths was found out to be super weak, especially compared to the Heave helmet. And I purchased my Tet Muskins about a month and a half ago, when Tet Muskins went up all the time. But for the most part, yeah, it would be really nice if Tri gear was a bit more common. What are my thoughts on the market going free market? I would love that. If they would actually go with a full free market, I think that would solve a lot of problems Black Desert has. Because one of the big problems that it has is money doesn't transfer between players. So pre-orders, yes, 20% of the extra pre-order price goes to the other player, up to a maximum of 200% of the original base price of the item. But even then, if you pre-order something worth 100 million silver, like Uragons, and the other player only gets 200 million at most, even if you pre-ordered it for like 800 million, that's just ridiculous. That's 600 million silver going into thin air. And we do need silver sinks, but not necessarily at the cost of players selling items. There should be other ways to sink silver into. Personally, I think that if we just got rid of memory fragments and charged a flat fee for repairing max durability, that would be a huge silver sink and an easy way to take silver out of the economy. But yeah, no. If they went to a free market and actually gave players all the money, or most of it, minus the marketplace tax, for selling items, we could see a lot more players getting better gear. But yeah, I don't see them going free market ever. Even the changes to the marketplace that they talked about in the remastered showcase, they don't say they're planning to go to free market. They say they're planning to loosen some of the restrictions and make changes to how the marketplace works. But they do still mention restrictions in terms of item fixed prices. So I don't think they're actually going to go to a free market. As a duo, 20 pages of sold loot on the marketplace. Made the mistake of pre-ordering an Uragons when Sea Monster hunting, so I spent 1.2 billion on base. Yeah, Uragons, the price for most stuff right now is insane, but Uragons especially, because there's such a small supply for them, is something that they really need to address. Especially because Uragons is definitely better than Muskins in like every way at the moment, unless you are one of the very few classes that can actually run an evasion build properly. So addressing the small amount of Uragons is definitely something they should do. Same with Ogre Rings, honestly. They need another way to get Ogre Rings. Honestly, they should just give us a new Ogre monster to fight, like a level 60 or 62 version with Dragon would go a long way in solving supply issues for Ogre Rings. So if accessories didn't go past base, I feel they'd rebalance accessories. They'd probably have like Ogre Ring go to like 20 AP, and then you'd have Asula still at like 12 or 13. So there'd still be a big difference between someone with an Ogre Ring and someone without, but it wouldn't be as difficult to get max level accessories, and then you could focus on gear. And there's only 6 pieces of gear. So if you look at it, you've actually got as many pieces of accessories, there's 7 pieces of gear, and you've got almost as many accessories, 6, as you have gear, 7 pieces. So if they removed accessories as something you'd have to enhance, half the enhancement you have to do in the game is now gone. That's how big a change it would be if they removed accessory enhancement. It would be insane, and I'd love it. It would be insane in a good way. But it's not. I feel it's just not something they're going to do, because accessories are one of the biggest stonewalls preventing people from getting full pen, and I feel that Pluralbits likes it that way, as preventing players from getting to full pen is one of the ways they keep sort of invested players invested, as they keep trying to get to that endgame full pen build. Yeah, lay 10 is pretty difficult to get, even more difficult than Ogre currently. Alright, I really need this guild to leave. You can tell they're pretty powerful, because they're all one-shotting monsters, just like I am. So I don't really want to fight them, especially because they have multiple people. But I would really like it if they would let me go back to grinding in peace. I'd expect base only accessories somewhere in try and tet. Yes, I would. If they made accessories unupgradable, I think they would change accessories so that the difference between gear upgrades wouldn't be as severe. Because currently the difference between gear upgrades being like 8 AP per is mitigated by the fact that you got a lot of AP from accessories. But if they made accessories weaker, then the amount of AP you get from an upgrade is higher proportionate, is a higher number than it is now, proportionate to total AP, and thus gear might be too strong for single enhancements. Guild versus, I've actually done guild versus one man at rogues before. Usually it's lower level guilds, not ones doing guild quests, because guild quest guilds usually just send a few super geared players that murder the entire area for a while and then leave. So not really something I can do against guilds with decently geared players. But against guilds that are badly geared, yeah, I've actually like 1v7'd here before. I don't think it'll raise the soft cap, no. So yes, we'll get more 63s, but what a lot of people don't get is even making 63 twice as easy as it is right now, 63 is still an absolute bitch to get to, and there's no real reward for getting 63. You get the ring at 61, you get the earring at 62, but you get the necklace at 64. And getting to 64 is basically impossible, even with double experience. Like, even with double experience, Dark Claymore, like the highest level in the game right now, still wouldn't be 64. He's at like 30%. So I don't think it's going to raise the soft cap. We're just going to see more 63s than before. We'll see a couple more appear. It's not going to all of a sudden have 62 or 63 be the new requirement from Node War guilds. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff they could do to make enhancement and gearing up feel better. Like, there's a lot of easy things they could do as well. But currently, the way they're doing it, they clearly have data that either shows it works or they're just super disconnected from what players want. And they think that players want to have, or they think that the majority of players want gear to be this difficult to upgrade. But I'm not too sure, honestly. Like, especially because the devs are Korean, and most of our interaction with them is secondhand through Inven, translated. So, and the Koreans often have different worries than we do because Black Desert in Korea has quite a few differences between NA and EU in terms of what is valued and and their meta and stuff. Global test server, it seems to be in a good direction. I do wish that the text was in English. Like, it's only available to NA, so I don't get why it's all in Korean. Probably they just don't want to hire people to translate it and then just have to change it later if there's problems. But my favorite thing of the global test server isn't getting to test new stuff. It's getting to wear full pen gear. Oh my god. I really do wish that it was easier to gear up in Black Desert. I've been playing for a year and a half, and my gear is still considered bad. So, I mean, for most players, it's gearing up and joining the game at this point is like an impossibility. I'm aware that only some text is in Korean, but often it's like the most important stuff, like the new stuff that you want to be testing that's in Korean. And it's just like, ugh. But yeah, I get why it's in Korean. It's a minor gripe of mine. So today's patch will upgrade all graphics, but it will also add a new remastered option. Very high and stuff. So you will still get the same performance, if not better performance, on the current low graphics settings and stuff, because they've optimized a lot of stuff. There will, however, be a brand new remastered option that is very taxed on PCs right now. A lot of players are reporting they can only get like 30-40 FPS. So we'll have to see once it goes live, because a lot of times stuff in test server environments doesn't perform the same on live. So we'll have to see what it's actually like. But yeah, I would expect it just to be the same as it is in the global server. I've got a few Korean friends, actually. I've played League with a Korean friend since high school. It's just, he's not super interested in Black Desert. And he's busy looking for a job right now. So he doesn't have much time for gaming, unfortunately. I've got a few Korean friends. It's just, I don't really ask any of them to translate for me. Dragon does look like a pretty cool area. We have no idea when Dragon's going to release, though. Like, they should release it soon to try and poach players back from BFA and Monster Hunter World. But who knows, right? Like, I would expect them to release it tomorrow, 1 week into BFA. Now the players are starting to get bored of gearing back up in World of Warcraft and maybe want to come back to Black Desert. But who knows when they're planning to lose streak. And they haven't even talked about, like, an event leading up to the release yet, which means it's probably still at least a month out, even if they were going to release it soon. So I'm not too sure what's going to go on with that. Your 1050 Ti should be fine, and a 1080 Ti is, it's probably, I'm not going to call it overkill, because nothing for Black Desert's overkill. But one of the things a lot of people don't realize about Black Desert is it's not actually super intensive on your graphics card. So 1 second, actually, I can show you. Running the task manager over here. You can actually kind of see CPU is actually taking a lot of use for Black Desert. Yes, it's using about 50% of my GPU, although a lot of that's the fact that I'm also running OBS. But Black Desert's actually super taxing on the CPU. Having a good CPU will actually be a much bigger upgrade to most players than a better graphics card. Of course, you do want a bare minimum of a decent graphics card. Like, running on a 970 made playing Black Desert while recording very difficult for me. But now that I've got a 1080, thanks to a very, very special viewer, it's much easier. And I don't really max out, except when I'm recording super high definition stuff for special videos. Then the graphics card goes pretty high. Or when I'm rendering that stuff, which the graphics card, even with a good graphics card and a good CPU, they cry. So I'm not actually too sure about SLI support because I don't use SLI. I only use a single graphics card. I'm not I'm not that rich. I'm pretty broke actually. So I only use a single graphics card. But I'm not too sure about SLI support. Like, I know it supports SLI, but I'm not sure how it actually goes. You'd have to find someone that uses SLI for that. Money making at Helms, not too sure actually. Like, Helms is, you make a lot more money at Helms if you're farming elites, but I'm not sure 125 is good enough to farm elites consistently. You probably want to get close to 150. But 150 is not too hard to get. You can probably get that pretty easily. And farming Helms is good if you don't have the Oslo set yet, because you need the Oslo set anyways. So I mean, especially right now, I wouldn't worry too much about earning silver. Like, you'll earn silver naturally as you're grinding Helms and stuff for the Oslo set. So I wouldn't focus too much on the money made. I would focus instead on level and just specific single upgrades. I can easily do Nagas and Fogans, yeah. I don't want to go to the desert. It's I've got other stuff for my lawn to do right now. Notice she has max energy. I need to go do some gathering. So I don't really want to go out there. Plus, I love wandering rogues. It's a chill spot. I don't need to worry about PvPing people unless they're lower geared at the moment. And I don't need to worry about going to jail, which is all pretty nice for doing a stream. Did you see any blitz here? Yes, I did. I saw a lot of blitz here. Yeah. When did Wandering Rogues get so popular? Oh my god. Race you to 62, 63. Can I hit 60 first? If I jump on my Dark Knight, I could actually have 60 by the end of the stream. She's that close. But, yeah, no. I hate leveling so much. Even in World of Warcraft, where leveling's easier, I hate leveling. I'm trying to get my second character 120 right now, and I'm like, oh, I hate this. Hope you remember me. Of course I remember you, man. You've been commenting a lot of my videos, and I talk to you on Discord. Can you really play this game with 5 pets and 1 storage maid? Of course you can. Better than a storage maid, though, I would say a marketplace maid is more important. Storage maid, you don't really need that much. Storage maid is more nice for if you're going to places like pirates and you need that extra inventory. Marketplace maid is the one that is a real quality of life improvement. Not even a little, homo? Not even a little? But yeah, no, I would say marketplace maid is the most important. Marketplace maid. Getting a storage maid helped my game a bit. Like it made things easier when grinding and stuff. Getting a marketplace maid is it'll change your life. With of course a bit of exaggeration there. Actually, I can probably just leave my horse here. I don't really need it. One of the most fun ways to get back to town from here, as a lawn, is let's see. How do I get up here? Sometimes climbing in this game is like super good. Sometimes climbing in this game is awful. Oh my god. And I dash towards the town. And I fall from dashing. I really hate that, actually. I hate how if you fall more than like 2 feet after a dash, you go into the falling animation. Feels awful. Yeah, you get a single maid from questing, and I would always choose the marketplace maid with that. I chose a storage maid only because I already had 2 marketplace maids. But if you don't have any maids, I would definitely go with the market maid for that. So marketplace maid is the most because marketplace maid is just such a huge quality of life improvement. You don't have to log off characters to go bid on stuff like boss gear or Zarkas. You don't need to worry about not being able to bid on pets or value packs. So you can see I got a bunch of upgraded gear here for a bunch of Blackstones. You don't need to worry about missing out on anything that pops up. You can buy anything you need while grinding that you forgot. Like earlier at the beginning of the stream when I realized I needed good feed, I just bought that with my marketplace maid rather than having to go back to town and buy feed. Marketplace maids just make the game, life in the game, so much more simple. Weight is also a must, but I mean, if we're talking about any Pearl Shop item, then yeah. Weight is probably the most important after a marketplace maid. And you only need a single marketplace maid. You need a lot of weight, and you need weight for every character. Marketplace maids, they work for anyone. So here's one of the best ways to earn money on rogues. You get a ton of Blackstones. Now, of course, Blackstones aren't necessarily money that you can convert to stuff. Do I need that? Actually, yeah, sorry, that's not something I want to be throwing away. I should lock that. There we go. You managed to buy a value pack in the marketplace? Oh my god, I'm so jealous. Being able to buy a value pack in the marketplace is like the Black Desert equivalent of winning the lottery. I think I've done it once ever. I was so excited too. It was like 5 a.m. in the morning. I woke up my fiance. I was like, oh my god. She did not share my excitement, unfortunately. And she was pretty annoyed at me. But yeah, I've won 1 value pack ever off the marketplace. If that tells you how rare it is. And the PC version, yeah, it's Black Desert is a game that people can definitely pay to win for. A lot of people disagree on that, but a lot of people also agree. So I mean, it's kind of a very split opinion. I still get a lot of views on my video about is BDO pay to win. So, and a lot of different viewpoints. Like a lot of people saying that yes it is, a lot of people saying no it isn't. So that tells you something about how controversial that opinion is. And another way you get a bunch of money here is a bunch of stuff sells for about 150 to 200,000. So you can sell all those in the marketplace. Unfortunately, there's only 30 marketplace slots, which is something I would really like to be able to buy. Like, I wouldn't mind actually if they put that in the Pearl Shop. Let me buy another 30 marketplace slots for like, I don't know, $10. I would buy that, and I would be able to put more stuff on the marketplace. Like, I don't know why they limit me to 30 items in the marketplace. Maybe limit you to 30 of the same item on the marketplace so people can't post like 30 things of iron ore. But there's no real reason to prevent me from posting other stuff. There's someone jumping in front of me. Value of heating my items like that, it's the value of not having to worry about having to sell them. You're the DK? What's up, man? Yeah, I suppose I don't really hide my server, do I? I know Dungeoneers hides his server whenever he grinds, because he gets griefed. But I don't really hide my server. If people want to come try and grief me, they're welcome to do it. Running away from people as Lawn is actually a lot of fun. The main thing pay to win is for sure Artisan's memories. So a lot of people don't really realize how pay to win Artisan's memories actually are. A single Artisan memory is worth function. It's worth 3 memory fragments, which means it's worth 2.25 million silver per Artisan's memory, which gets very expensive. Like, people don't realize how much that is. Every high gear score player do. Yeah, Artisan's memories, it's 2.25 mil per Artisan's memory, and then you've got 40 of them, or 100 of them for $40, which means that you basically just earn 225 million silver for paying $40. It can get pretty ridiculous, honestly. So $100. Let me actually do the math there, because I was talking about the PayPal thing earlier with PayPaling a Sea Monster Guild for it. PayPal, $100. So $40 is the equivalent of 225 mil. Times that by 2.5. 450 plus 112.5. So you're looking at about 563 million silver, which is pretty crazy, honestly. All right, did I leave my horse there? I did leave my horse there, didn't I? All right, get on my horse. I love being able to just jump over walls as my lawn. It's like one of my favorite things to do in this game is just using my lawn to jump over random things. It is a great thing to do. See, a lot of people can't, because like a lot of people are like me. They don't have the money to be able to just kind of go, I'll spend $100 on just Artisan's memories for a game. But then there's also a lot of players that do have that type of money. They do have the extra spending money. They're professionals that don't need to worry about spending their money on other things, or maybe their gaming budget's huge, whatever the reason, and they don't mind spending that money at all. And then you've got players that spend like $200 or $300 a month on Black Desert, which is like 1.5 billion silver a month if it's just Artisan's memories, that they are earning without having to do anything other than get memory fragments for it. So Artisan's memories, the only nice thing about it is that yes, you're required to get memory fragments. It's not straight pay to win. You do need to get memory fragments. You do need to actually do enhancement in order to use those Artisan's memories. It's not like you can just buy them and sell them. It's not a direct Artisan's memories to silver. But I would still call it pay to win, because most people want to be doing that anyways. They want to be enhancing gear, and it just makes it so they save so much more money than other players do. Nothing should be down. You should be able to log in. The servers will be going down, but that's not for another 5.5 hours when the servers go down for the patch. Yeah, but you've got to be able to buy those first is the problem. You're racing me to Heidel? I'm only on a tier 7. Don't race me. Or a tier 8, one of the two. And I've only got sprint. I don't have instant excel or drift on this horse. I really want that new Doom horse, honestly. The one that's being released soon. That horse is nice to look at. Of course, I really want an Arduinat, like the Pegasus, but both of them seem like a pipe dream, so I'll just kind of stick to gazing at them with longing whenever another player passes me. Alright, I don't see you on my minimap yet, so I've got a chance. It's a small chance, but it's a chance, you know? Feels like I'm playing Mario Kart and someone's got a bullet behind me and they're rapidly approaching. I actually got Mario Kart right next to me. I was playing that earlier. Everyone wants a Pegasus. Like I really hate that even Dream Horses are RNG. Like for such a difficult thing to get that is so difficult, why add another layer of RNG and force players to get a Pegasus to not be able to get the one they want? Like if I want a unicorn, a Dine instead of an Arduinat, why are they forcing me to do it multiple times if I get unlucky? And because there's no free market, you can't sell the horses for what they're worth. They're worth more than like the 2.5 billion silver or whatever it is they sell for. But unfortunately, they only sell for what the market sets them for, and thus no one in their right mind is going to sell one. All right, I win. Ha! I think I had a huge head start, so it's not much of an achievement, but I don't win it that much in Black Desert. All right, so receive all. That lets me. Okay, that's not bad. And I'll cancel that and just throw it into the bank. But yeah, so Rogues is actually pretty decent money. A lot of people don't realize how good Rogues is for money, but it's pretty decent money. Yeah, I like that it's really hard to get. Like I don't mind the difficulty for getting a dream horse. They are definitely a dream horse. Like they only exist in your dreams. But I feel that with how difficult they are to get, it shouldn't be RNG once you do get a dream horse. It should be you are going for that specific dream horse. You're not influencing it. You are actually going for it, and you will get that dream horse if you succeed on getting the dream horse. Like I don't feel it should be RNG at all once you succeed, especially when you're paying billions of silver to try and do it. Grinding these crystals, on the other hand, there is a tangible benefit to that, and this is that it gets you black magic powder. You're at the storage? Oh, so we went to different places. Okay. So it's a tie, you're saying? Ah, damn it. I can't even win at races. Yeah, it would be especially brutal if you succeeded like 2 or 3 times in a row, but didn't get the one you wanted. Like you got Dine 3 times in a row. And then you just got like Dine for all your ults, but you can't use it but you don't have an Arduinat and you can't fly in the sky. Or you don't have a Doom horse, so you can't be like a super heat Inferno. Alon? Yes, Alon is my main class. I love how mobile Alon is. My other main's a Dark Knight, so I mean, clearly I'm a masochist, you know? Although, when I started playing Dark Knight was the OP class. Like, it was right after Striker release, and everyone was considered Dark Knight to be super OP because she was super easy to play and very powerful. And then Strikers and Mystics both got released and were easy mode and also destroyed magic classes. And then Dark Knight got a bunch of nerfs, and then the rebalance nerfed Dark Knight even more, and she lost a bunch of her forward guards and stuff. So I mean, Dark Knight used to be good. Yeah, Dine is actually pretty good for Node War. Doom, we're going to have to see how Doom performs in Node Wars. Like, we're all saying he's for Node War, but we haven't seen him in it yet. But it should be pretty interesting, actually, to see if he's actually any good. Yo, Nova, want to come up to the Heidel Duel Arena for a second? Where's the Heidel Duel Arena? It's to the north, right? Fell off. Yeah, it's right here. I've actually got quite a few friends that play Valkyrie. I feel Valkyries are almost like a cult. People that play Valkyrie are obsessed with Valkyrie. Meiwas are pretty similar too. Beiwa players love playing Beiwa. Like, even when they know she's not powerful, they still play Beiwa. It's, Alright, I'm probably going to get spanked here, but, kind Come, let's have a quick duel. Oh, what? That was interesting. Alrighty, when is that coming out? Cooldown? 3 seconds? Alright, so trick against Dark Knight is you can't let her get you in a CC. There we go. Alright, can you just res here, or do you have to res somewhere else? Oh, you have to res somewhere else? Okay, sorry about that. Didn't know you had to res somewhere else. That's a little awkward. Haven't been able to play since Mystic release. Leveling a Sork. So Sork, I find Sork is like, she's simultaneously one of the most powerful and one of the least powerful classes in the game. Oh. Why is someone from Eviscerate here? Oh my god. Is she actually trying to attack me, or I'm not too sure what's going on here. There's all of a sudden someone from a much more powerful guild than me. 1 second. Oops. How about Kuno? I feel Kuno is very powerful. I feel Kuno is currently one of the strongest classes in the game. They've always been incredible at 1v1. And now they're even better. Yeah, I think you can just instant res here, yeah. I think. It's been a while since I last used this. Usually my guild uses... Oh, I missed. That's not good. Block, block, block. Alright, I'm getting some decent dodges off. Oh, and I missed again. Not good. Alright, here we go. Oh, what? Oh, I had 100%. Sorry about that. Didn't realize I was 100%. Where'd you go? Ah. Gore, no? What does that mean? Hey, thanks, Danny. Glad to see the videos have been helping. Fighting versus a ninja. My guild leader is actually a ninja. The way he got me into the guild was he beat me in a duel. Yeah. Ninjas are annoying as hell. My current gear score, so I suppose you're watching so you can just kind of see it. 205, 207, 270. I can also type it out. Oh, you got a ghillie? Nice. My lawn is still a pleb. She has no pearl outfits. She just uses a coral crown. Hang on a second. I'll take off some accessories so it's a bit more fair. 180. Can I take off anything? 13 and 7. Alright, there we go. We're much more fair now. So my thoughts on Valkyrie are that Valkyrie is currently in an okay spot. She's not in a great spot. She's definitely been in better. Oh. Stop backing just a second to... Oh, am I screwed here? Yeah, I'm screwed. Stop backing for a second to watch chat, and you caught me. That was nice. Isn't instant resurrection. Heavenly Sword? I've heard of it. Never played it, though. Whoa, where'd you go? What? What? What happened there? Did you go into Nocturne right as I, right as I grabbed? Alright, I've got to get close to you somehow, but you're doing pretty well at dashing around. There we go. I don't know, I feel Valkyrie, she's in an okay spot. She's not as mobile as she once was. However, she's not as mobile as she once was, but she also still has quite a lot of tools. Oh my god, I'm so slow. It feels like I'm moving through quicksand. Oh my god, she broke my guard instantly. And she's immune to everything. Oh, okay. Ow. Okay, I just got wrecked. Oh. That was ouch. No, I didn't use an Alien's Tear because you can see that I died the first time. Had 2. Died just again. Still have 2. So my Alien's Tear is safe. Oh, I missed. That's not good. Whew, close one. The big problem with the Lawn for sure is her reliance on the grab. She needs to use the grab really to set up most of her kills. And if you don't use the grab, you really don't have that many options to set up a kill from sort of like other locations. You do have the forward F, which is powerful, but that's also a main part of the combo, Deadly Dance. And when you use it to initiate, you don't have as much sort of wiggle room afterwards to continue the combo. Oh, grats, Moby. That's pretty great. This whole chat saw me die over and over. Yeah, Valk damage is pretty good right now. It's her mobility and somewhat of her defenses that have suffered recently. But her damage has always been pretty good. And if you can catch someone with the 100%, you're going to wreck someone. Of course, Valk's 100% is just like a giant magnet that says, get away from here. So What? What was that? Oh, that's not good. All right, 3, 2, 1. There we go. That was really close. You almost had me there. All right, good duels, man. Good duels. Yeah, Valkyrie's damage pretty decent, but she definitely could use a bit of love compared to other classes in the game right now. Yeah, playing what you think is fun is definitely the best idea in Black Desert, because if you don't play what you think is fun, you're probably going to sort of get sick of the game and just stop playing at all, which is the easiest way for players to quit, is if they dislike playing their class and feel they need to play it to be competitive. I know a lot of people that switched to Ninja and really hated Ninja, but didn't want to switch back because they knew Ninja was like OP in PvP. So you've really got to enjoy your class in Black Desert. And if you enjoy your class, you'll probably be strong because you'll... oh, my storage is completely full, huh? Because you'll be able to play the class more often. Something in here I can remove? Probably remove that. DK, yeah, DK, she, losing a lot of forward guards and invincibilities really hurt the Dark Knight. She used to feel a lot better, even though all she had was damage. But now all she has is damage, and she doesn't bring anything else to the table, and that damage is underwhelming. That's DK's problem right now. No, I'm playing on the NA server. I am Canadian. Although I guess that's not really an excuse because I'm also British. So, I mean, I could move to the UK and play on the EU server and go, yeah, I play on the EU server because I'm British, but yeah. Her animations are pretty slow, but the animations also look amazing. Like my fiance, when she plays Valk, and she really loves how meaty the hits that the Valk delivers feel. Like they feel incredibly powerful. People reroll and we buy their Tet weapons, as is tradition. How do I bring back your quest panel on the right under the minimap? Go to Edit UI. So you can see here I've got it turned off, here I've got it turned on. You just you hit the I. So normally I'm in preset 2, right now I'm in preset 1. Oh, where am I trying to go? Okay, there we go. Sometimes autopathing just takes you random places. Yay for Canada. No problem, Mundane, no problem. Yeah, the editing UI, it's there's a few little things there that can be annoying if you forget that you've changed them and don't know how to get them back. Because some of it's in Edit UI and some of it's in settings. So for Sorceress, I would say Uragons. Muskins is only really good if you're going evasion build for a Ninja or Musa, I believe. Should be officially coming out tonight, Danny. Should be about 5 hours to the patch, 4 hours to the patch, and then a couple more hours for the patch to complete. So about 10 hours, I believe, until it's officially out. That is some good whiskey. make money on a max 150 AP Mystic? There's a bunch of ways. If you really want to make serious money, join a sea monster hunting guild. Otherwise, farming helms, farming rogues, finding a Sawsons group, finding a Fogans. Fogans isn't really money, but you can make okay money there. Fishing, especially active fishing in Grana, and then selling over in Valencia. You sort of want a good mix of AFK / passive income, and then active income at like Helms and places like Helms and Rogues for now. Muskins is pretty good for Guna. Like, Urgons isn't like 100% better than Muskins, right? It's like 10-15% better, something like that. Which means it's still better to have Urgons, but you're not gimping yourself with Muskins. You're still going to be pretty good. And because the most important part is DP, you're only really losing like 2 DP. Muskins is 72, Urgons like 73, 74, I think. So, yes, Urgons is better. Yes, that damage reduction is really nice to have. But having evasion, having the good amount of DP anyways, is still pretty important for the Muskins. It's not like you have bad item if you have Muskins. Muskins is still much better than the normal shoes. Throw all that stuff in. Should probably re-equip my accessories. Yeah, you do lose. Well, that's not a nice evolved one. You do lose the 1 movement speed. That is one of the things that people dislike about Muskins. There's no real way to get that movement speed back. Yes, I'm sure I would like to throw away those 3 rock fragments. I don't think I'm ever going to need 3 rock fragments. Alrighty. You know, once you start to learn everything about BDO, it's all fairly straightforward. But there's so much to learn all of a sudden, and they don't really do a very good job of telling you what you need to learn. Like, they briefly touch on certain things once or twice, and then they'll like abandon you forever and expect you to just know. And it's like, but what am I supposed to do there? So it's very confusing right off the bat. And then as you learn it, like, oh, that's not that confusing, or that's not that convoluted. You just need to know what you're looking for, which they don't do a good job of pointing you in the right direction for. Yeah, damage reduction in general is just kind of overtuned right there, and evasion in general is sort of undertuned, in that evasion is just a little too weak right now. Alright, now we go to the terrible swimming animation. The mystery, like, I don't mind having them make you learn stuff as you play the game. I really wish there was like a better tutorial. That's all I'm asking. A slightly better tutorial would be much appreciated. Not that 10-second and then 1 minute of learning how to do combat that they give us. Is fishing for Imperial Trader good? Fishing for Imperial Trader is one of the best like money-making methods in the game. It's just you've got to be the one that trades the Imperial Trader, which is difficult because the Imperial Trader, a lot of people want to do it, and there's only a limited number of fish you can turn into it. It's one of the other things that Korea, they're a little out of touch with because there's not very many people that do Imperial fishing in Korea. Yes, it's supposed to be limited. Not everyone can do it, but because there's less players, less people are trying to turn them in. So there's less competition for it. Alright, stop spamming right mouse button, I suppose. Kill these poor wandering rugs. Yeah, I've got 2 Muskins. I got my Tet, and then I've got a totally unupgraded version in my bank. Muskins, it's definitely... It's okay. It's not great. But it's an okay item to have. How much money is here? You mean Wandering Rogues? It's about 25-30 million an hour. Nothing amazing, but nothing terrible. Especially for how convenient a location is, and how few people come to contest your spot. So the current spot I'm in is really suitable for 1 person because you can clear it at exactly pretty much the respawn timer. If you go too fast, you'll clear it faster, but then you can just add a little part of the rotation to it to clear at the respawn timer. And you can also take away parts like the part I'm doing. You can take this part away if you're clearing too fast and need less of the rotation to yourself. How do you make 25 million an hour here? Blackstones, Schultz items, upgraded items, and a lot of gear that sells for about 150 to 200,000 each. Yeah, Wandering Rogues doesn't seem like a place that you'd make 25 million an hour, but you can. You don't need good pets for it. Yeah, all of your servers are great. You don't need to worry about Imperial Trader stuff, turn-ins. You don't need to worry about... You usually don't need to worry about people ganking you at your... whatever rotation you're on. You can just do your thing and not have to worry. Like, all of your servers are like a beautiful lie that Black Desert tries to sell you on for the first month. And then it's like, psych, bitch! And drops you into the general population. It's a shame. And then occasionally you get geared players that sneak onto Alvia because they haven't played for a month and decide to just wait until they're able to get on Alvia. And then they play on Alvia and murder poor Alvia players that have like 150 AP less than the geared player does. Yeah. No, 5-pet T1 is fine. That's what I'm using pretty much. I'm using a pair of T2s, but one of them's a dog, so it's basically a T1. So I'm basically using 4 T1s and a T2. So this is the part of the rotation you can kind of add if you are farming faster than the respawn timers allow. Hey, a Layla's Battle, not bad. Let's set up special deals. I have no idea how to set up special deals. I don't really farm in parties often. And we'll ignore the puppy nursery this time. Join Dungeoneers, noob. Sup, Steven. I'm actually not using a fairy right now. I have no fairy. I refuse to use a non-T4 fairy, which means that due to RNG, I don't use a fairy. The fairies don't like me, apparently. Which is a shame, because I like fairies. One of my favorite Magic the Gathering decks is Modern Fairies. But they do not want to give me a Radiant Fairy, or a Glimmering, or whatever the T4 is. I think it's Radiant. 6 T1 Fairies, that sounds about right. That sounds about like my experience with fairies. RNG, just like everything else in Black Desert. Dungeoneer is better. I am still salty. Like, I love Luke and all, but I am still salty that his class guide is doing better than mine. I feel my class guide is super high quality, super good. It's got that like nice like rating thing. I've got quotes in it. I did actual editing, which my channel never does. And then his class guide's got like 150,000 views in a month and a half. I'm like, I'm super happy for him. He's doing well and people are recognizing him. I'm like, damn, man. That could have been me. Why not level it? I just really want a T4 fairy. That's really the thing. Once I get a T4 fairy, I'll go all out leveling it. I'll feed it all the green drops it can eat. It's just until that point, I'm going to be ignoring fairies. A lot of people like the class guide, actually. Like, I've even had a lot of comments like, this class guide's like amazing. Like, why isn't it getting recognized? But YouTube doesn't promote my class guide for some reason. Even after the video I made on Saturday about how to choose your class, the next video for my account wasn't my own class guide, it was Luke's. I was like, oh. Damn it, Luke. Stop stealing my thunder. What's my gear score? I'm at about 480. Just below 480 right now, because I still haven't replaced that earring I blew up a long time ago. Like over a month ago now. But yeah, I'm just below 480. I had the stuff probably to get like 2 tets. Well, as soon as I get the memory fragments. But I'm trying not to do any enhancement, because every time I enhance, I really hate doing it because it saps my will to live. But I'm going to get a ton of memory fragments all at once and do a massive enhancement system. Or a massive enhancement session, rather. There we go. Now it's set. YouTube's more random than video. It's true. I don't even know how my first video became successful. It got no views at all for like 2 months, and then all of a sudden it started getting like 5-10 views a day, and then it started hitting a few hundred views a day, and it's even hit over 1,000 views a day at sometimes. And that'd be the beginner's guide, which I'm actually thinking of remaking at some point this year. It's over a year old as of last week, and thus I'm thinking of remaking it. Actually, it's a year and a week old as of tomorrow. Common Valencia questlines? Yes, I would say those are worth it. Valencia questline especially gives you a ton of CP. Like, we're talking a ton. There are people that will actually run ults through the Valencia questlines just to earn extra CP. A new gearing guide? My gearing guide, is it out of date? Like, I feel my gearing guide's pretty up to date. It's only a few months old. And that's already the second version, right? Like, the previous version of it is the one that I updated it from. And that one was my 3rd or 4th video, I think. Yeah, it's boring, but I mean, it gets you a ton of CP. And it's at least worth it to do on one character. Dim Tree for 130 mil on Night Vendor? Nice. That's a sweet pickup. Night Vendor has actually never offered me Dim Tree. It's the only piece of boss armor I've never been offered. He's offered me Red Nose, Uragons, Muskins, Bags, Giaths, Griffins. But he's never offered me a Dim Tree. He's also never offered me a Dark Knight Dandy, but that's a separate story. The only reason I have my Lawn Dandy is because he offered me a Dandelion box for 330 mil. I don't want to go to Gahaz. Gahaz is where Shaky runs. Shaky and Luke run at Gahaz. I'd be stealing their thunder. Their thunder. I sounded like really like rural Canadian right there. Their thunder. Like I have a bunch of friends that talk like that. Well, I'll be honest, sometimes I can't tell if it's the accent or the missing teeth from the hockey. Because they all have that in common as well. 1v1 at Gahaz? Nah, man, I'm good. Helms versus rogues. I prefer rogues. A lot of people prefer helms. I prefer that they prefer helms because it means I get to do rogues uncontested. So, I mean, you know, there's advantages and disadvantages. I'd say helms is slightly better, especially if you can get the elites. Rogues is more convenient, though. Nope, new graphics appear in about 12 hours. 10 to 12 hours. These graphics are pretty nice, though. I've got them pretty high up. But new graphics should appear in after the patch tonight. Yeah, we're clearing slightly above the replacement. Like if they would die a bit, if they would respawn a bit faster, we could kill them better. I think I forgot to do the right hand side this time. Oh, straight up murder. Huh, some authentic guys here. Oh no, he cleared the other side. No. What do I do now? Do I go the other side? Nagas and Fogans are just out of the way. I don't want to go all the way over to Valencia to do them. So, I do them here. Fogans especially, right? Like, I do Fogans occasionally. Like, I still have a Marnie Stone in my inventory from Fogans. From the last time I was doing it, like a week ago. It's just, I don't want to go all the way to Fogans right now. Because I need to do some gathering on my lawn. I should say some lawn maintenance, but I mean, that might be too steep a pun. Yeah, I don't want to randomly PK him. Like, if you get... We only just saw him, so he has a decent chance to at least leave. If he stays around again, I'll tell him that the spot's taken and ask him to go somewhere else. But I don't want to randomly start PKing people like I did in my younger days. However, if I see him again, I'll tell him spot taken. But I'm not even a dad, but I love dad puns. What was that joke I heard the other day? I can't remember it. Lucky for you guys, I don't remember it. Watching Dark Knight with some of the animations turned off is hilarious. She just like appears from place to place. She's one place, then she's the other place, then she's another place. It's like, oh. Luckily, unlike Sorceress, I don't really mind her flitting from place to place because she can't do much to me. But it's still pretty tough to PvP a good Dark Knight. You just can't hit them. Pirates worth it? Pirates is actually definitely worth it. Pirates, the thing is though, if you're going to Pirates, you want to like live at Pirates. You want to take a boat, you want to have storage maids, and you want to take a few other mounts so you can store the coins on them. And then you just want to basically live at Pirates. You want to non-stop Pirates all day for a couple days. And then once you reach your goal, you leave Pirates. But that's what you want to do for Pirates. You don't want to just... Pirates isn't a place you just want to go for like an hour or two like you can with other places. Pirates is a place you park your character there and you use someone else for AFK stuff. Anyways, I'm probably going to end the stream pretty soon. Still have to make the weekend review. But it's been good streaming for everyone. I'm glad so many people could make it in. I'll be doing some like World of Warcraft Twitch streaming in the next couple days. So if anyone's actually interested in that, watch for the Twitch link. Otherwise, Black Desert stuff, the YouTube link will alert everyone to Black Desert views. And yeah, thanks for watching the stream, guys. I'm just going to finish off this rotation, so if anyone has any questions they wanted to ask me before I leave, go for it. Die, rogues. You're coming over? See, the way you say it sounds like innocent, like someone coming over for a sleepover. Oh man, don't go on vacation. We're coming over for a sleepover. It's gonna be fun. But I feel that's not the type of party you want to throw me. I feel it's gonna be a little more violent than that. Huh, there's a pink lawn here with golden blades. Would I say DK or lawn has better booty? Ooh, that's a tough one. I'd say lawn because I don't feel DK has much of a booty at all. But neither of them are exactly exemplars for the booty world. They are both fairly lacking in the booty department. DK is pretty thick, I'll be honest, but for booty, someone else. Dungeoneers people are here. Is the Dungeoneers guild like straight up? Because I know that thing exists now. Here, for anyone who wants to meet me before I leave, meet me by my horse over on the western tip over here. Straight up the guild, eh? A gentleman and a scholar. DK does have super long legs. My DK's legs are... they're nice. Let's put away my weapon. Infestation. I don't think that's Dungeoneers. There we are. There's a Dungeoneers. Sup, Dungeoneers? 1 second. Hey, Dungeoneers, Luke here, and today we are going to go into a super special video about classes. I think that's how Luke starts his videos. I can't do the super excitable thing that Luke does. I'm sorry. Luke is this is where we ult C and kill them. I don't. Oh, apparently they ult C us. I think they took off all their accessories though because I didn't take any damage. Oh. I'm gonna chase you down. You think you can just get away with that? Oh, no, no, no. Oh, maybe you can. Nope, you don't get away with that. All right, well, that seems like a perfectly good place to end the stream. So once again, guys, thanks for everyone for coming out. I'm going to be cutting the stream short here. Definitely hope to see you all again at another time. Thank you to the Dungeoneers crew for that warm welcome. And yeah, I shall be seeing you all again in the week in review. Peace.